Audio test, audio test. YouTube, tell me, can you hear me? Can you hear me, YouTube? Audio. All right, perfect. Now I gotta figure out who I'm coaching. Hold on a second. Upcoming in 4 seconds is a lesson with Weeaboo. All right, let's go to Discord real quick and find this person. Friends, friend, we just friend request sent. Now wait for the accept. How you doing?
I'm great, and you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what's up? What are you trying to improve at today? What
Okay.
what would you describe your main goal as?
I'm trying to improve on posture, like just posture tasks
Oh,
in
okay.
general,
Okay. All right, let's pull up some
and
passive.
then
Is that like your main goal that you
and also just fix inconsistency,
in what?
and just in everything, like in all tasks in general.
It's a bold statement.
So like,
Um,
yeah,
there's a chance we find something that's causing that, but I'd say more likely than not, the quote unquote inconsistency is really just like what you'd expect. Like you can't
mhm,
aim have the exact same scores every time. A lot of people seem to think that, but it's just not
yeah.
how people
So
work. Too many variables. So let's
like
see.
the problem is like,
Can you share your screen for me?
mhm,
All right, the problem.
is that I'll have like the amount of like days and like tasks in general, like from task to task that I have where like my scores just drop dramatically. Like it isn't like I'm not getting close to what like my high scores are. Like let's see, with Monday dynamic or whatever, like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have like this task in general where like runs where I'll just drop to like 40 or maybe like 20, if that
Okay,
makes sense.
let's see a run.
Like oh wait, fuck, I got something in my mouse. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay,
So
that
you've
was a
only
good
played it
one.
3 times, but your score drops to 20 sometimes.
Yeah.
Go to stats, I guess.
Here, analytics.
No, where it says stats.
Where, oh, fuck, I'm blind.
Um, recent. Okay, let's go by month, I guess.
Then,
Hold on a second. So you've only played
mhm,
this scenario
yeah.
3 times since
Uh,
April. So I don't see how you could have
Uh,
score dips all the way to 20.
don't know. I've been,
Unless your runs just haven't been saving, I guess.
yeah, I don't know.
Hit done for a second.
Go where?
Hit done.
Okay.
High score 86. Hmm. It looks like your runs aren't. How often do you play the scenario?
Once a week. Because what
Once
I'm
a week.
doing is what is it? I forgot. It's LG's
Mm-hmm.
56's like daily tasks or whatever. So like it's like one day of just like movement, evasive, speed,
Yeah, I
reactive.
remember he was showing this to me when he first came
Yeah.
up with the idea. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so in that run, what you noticed there was three things that could happen with a bot. One, you could hit it, right? Which happened for you some of the time. Two, you could waste a lot of time tracking it because you missed, and then you start tracking it, and then you miss more, and then you're out of ammo, and then you wait, and then you finally hit the bot, right?
Yep.
Or three, you could miss, get on it, and then hit it in two shots, right? So what I would do
Mm-hmm.
is so I'm guessing any inconsistency on that scenario is probably coming from you spam clicking the target and then tracking it, and then if you have like four or five of those in one run, then all of a sudden it'll drop to 20 because you wasted a significant percentage of your run tracking that thing. Like if you were to play it for an hour, there'd be more and more of those.
Yeah.
So I think if you make sure in dynamic, ideally one, but max two shots per target. And then I don't think you'll face the same inconsistency on that scenario.
Okay. So like I essentially just have to slow down.
Not slow down,
Like
but just if you miss, just move on.
just move on. Okay.
Just move on from your misses. Um, so let's see. You say your manual is Passu, so let's watch a Passu run.
Like one that's I've been like really trying to improve
This is a movement
is
playlist.
I know. Where is it?
What are you looking for?
The one, where is it? Because I'm trying to get my overall, the benchmarks, intermediate benchmarks. There you go.
Okay, so we're going for the benchmark Passu.
Yeah, where is
All
it?
right.
It was this one.
That's Santios.
Don't remember which one it is.
It's just Passu, it's just the
Oh,
first
there you
one.
go. Yeah, there you go. This one. So like,
Hmm. Have you watched any of my live coaching before?
no, whenever you stream, I'm usually at work.
No worries.
So I tend to watch your videos.
Uh-huh.
There you go. And that's how I improved my static. Static used
Nice.
to be my worst. But
Now it's your
then
best?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what my videos will do. I'm just trolling.
One of
Um,
the problems I had with static is that I would just like flick like that,
yeah,
and would tend to over flick
makes
a
sense.
lot
Makes
or under flick sometimes.
so you just made your initial flicks more accurate?
Yeah, I
Nice.
just slowed it down. It
Nice.
took a while.
Makes sense. Let's see. Not bad. All right, you did flick around for the first half of that run, so I don't think the score
Mhm.
matters. Also, your score files aren't saving, so like you can't see your score graph over time. I'm gonna,
Yeah,
I don't know how to fix that, but hold on a second. Let me move my Discord off the stream monitor so that I can don't accidentally open a weird DM. Yo, do you know how to fix the issue where runs don't save between sessions. All right, so I'm not sure if you've noticed that bug where you runs don't save on the graph.
No,
Like
but I usually just like look at my scores.
you see how like
And
the graph on the left, like normally there'll be like
yep,
a bunch of like different scores over time, but yours aren't saving.
yep.
I don't know how to fix it personally, but I just texted Kovac to see if he knew. So we'll see if he can tell us. But yeah, for now we'll
Okay.
just ignore that. So it's a cool scenario. I'm gonna share my screen.
'Cause-
Uh where is it? Passive.
Oh, and then another thing I've noticed with Spessy is that the longer the run goes on, the worse I get. Like I don't know if I get like frustrated or that, but I just start like missing tons of shots.
It's probably frustration in that case. Or panicking. I think the high score bars can kind of throw people off because if you're not getting a high score, you panic. If you're getting a high score, you panic.
Mm.
But watch this run. I'm going very slow to make sure you can see it. But what's the main difference between... Okay, well, not for that bot, but for most of these bots, what's the main difference between me and you?
You wait till you're on the target to click. You're a lot
That's a
smoother, a
big
lot
one. That is a big
slower.
one. But that's not what I
Yeah,
was getting at. So here, I'll show you. So this is you.
yeah.
This is what I try to do.
Mhm.
Notice I'm not moving at a different pace. I'm moving at the same pace. It's not like I sped up or anything. You could speed
Yeah.
up both techniques, right? And this is kind of what I'd say. This is an interesting thing too, because it's more of a controversy in Pasu than an actual yes or no answer, right?
Yep.
But what you'll see is you'll look at top Pasu runs and they kind of vary between are they doing more of the approaching technique or the interception technique, where you interception technique would be you're not tracking the bot, you're just going to it and clicking on it. And the approaching technique would be more of a kind of track it and then get to it eventually. So the perks of this one, the approaching technique, it allows for very high. It's like, let me find it. Hold on a second. Uh, this is Stark. He used to be like 10 places higher, but he quit like back in November. He's like, for people I know, like who I talk to a lot, he's the big advocate of the approaching technique. He's very big into trailing the bots, and he feels like it lets him be very accurate with it, right?
Yeah.
Versus the people who intercept the bots, it wastes less time, and it's also you can be very accurate with it, right? So the point is, you're doing a reload passive. There isn't a ton of benefit to kind of tracking it, making sure you're absolutely perfect, because again, it's passive reload, not passive. It's not an accuracy based passive like this one. So,
Yep.
oh, it's Kovac. Hold on a second. Um,
Give me a minute. I gotta
graph.
change the battery on my headset.
Yeah, no worries. So let's try the interception technique. Let's just try it. They're both techniques. They're both viable, quote unquote, but you'll probably have an easier time with this one, or you should be able to do both of them and at least figure out which one's working better for you, if that makes sense. It's really variable. A lot of people will kind of vary between them depending on how the bot goes. Like they'll try to intercept it, and if that doesn't work, then they'll kind of use your technique to fix that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just varies person to person, so I just work on that.
Okay. It's like what I was trying to do. Cause I saw I forgot what video it was, but it was like this like old Maddie Overwatch video.
Okay.
Hmm. Oh wait, no. Where is it? Yeah. It was basically saying, what was it? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. So instead of like he said, like tracking the target like
Mm-hmm.
this, that for him it was just better to just like click go, not waste time.
Yep, that's good, but that's not what you were doing.
Hmm.
You were basically doing the thing. Let me get this straight. He said don't, just making sure, because I didn't see the video on. I don't think I've watched Maddie's passive video. He says he doesn't track it. He flicks, clicks, flicks, clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing. So yeah, what I'm trying to do would be the technique Maddie does.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you to do. So hit escape for a second.
Yep.
Settings, misc,
Wait, what?
bottom.
Um, yeah.
Hmm?
Settings.
Hold on a second. Um, huh. Um, Here, change that.
Wait, this?
Change where it says challenge completion
Yeah.
to none and then back to challenge completion. Save it.
Okay.
Or, well, save it in between. None. And then
Okay. Yeah.
save and then go settings. Misc. You can just click on it. Not challenge completion. Save. And maybe it'll work now. I don't know. But yeah, here, go to challenge and try to just intercept the bots a bit more. Like flick right to where they'll be where your crosshair lands, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like the.
What you what you were doing here, pause this for a second. Hold on a second. I'll show you. Because let me just find it. Full screen. Back to your first pass you run. Is this your first pass you run? Is this my pass? No, that's my pass. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Um, just want to dig up your passive VOD. Where is it? Find some bench right. Alright, this is you. Hold on a second. Let me move this to my first monitor. Can you see my screen? Yeah, right. You can see
Yeah. Yeah.
this?
I can see.
Alright, watch this.
Yep.
Okay, but look, about half of these you end up behind the bot and tracking it for a brief period of time. You see that?
Yep.
And you're so I guess you weren't tracking it as much as you were just very flicky with being behind the bot. So I see what you're trying to do now, right? So you were
Yep.
taking Maddie's technique, right?
Yep.
And you were trying to apply it. Let me think through what I'm trying to say for a second. So you were trying to apply it, but you were, instead of reading the bots, seeing how they were moving, where they were moving, and applying it the right way, you still probably had the bad habit from before when you watched that video of getting behind the bots, flicking to where they were, and then micro adjusting towards them, right?
Yep.
So because of that, what you ended up with was just this. Here, I'll show you. So you see a bot, flick to where it was. Oh, okay. See a bot, flick to where it was, micro adjust. And that will cause you to click a lot of times when you're not on target because you're going behind the bots and you're not really tracking them, but you're not really hitting them. And that's probably our main issue, right? So what I'm suggesting we do is let's go to hold on, let me search up different kinds of passive. What's this one called? A VT passive intermediate?
Yeah.
Is there a rasp in its name?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a VT passive rasp.
Rasp
Immediate.
intermediate. Is there a slower version? 30% smaller. Oh, smaller, slower. Is there really no slow version? That's nice. All right, hold on a second. Let me just download Passive Rasp Intermediate. VT Passive Rasp Intermediate. Edit it. Character, bots, probably React, because it's probably Yeah, it's just a descendant of regular passive. Run speed. Alright, let's just make sure this fits. So it's movements. Speed. Let's go to 6 minutes. Wait, I'm just testing something out real quick. Okay, so the vertical speeds are jumps. Move. Jump. Oh, jump velocity 100. Okay, I'll jump. Save. Skip 3. Save that. Shoot this thing back to. It's a lot smoother too. Let me cancel these edits. Don't save it. Edit it. Yes, let's just time scale it, honestly. 0.75. But point 6. But save as. Hold on 1 second. Clicking dynamic. Yeah, it's good. Save that as VT passive rasp intermediate 60% speed. Save as upload. All right, so what I just did was I made a scenario I want you to try in a minute. That'll be 60% the speed of the current passive rasp. Because I feel like that'll be a bit better for you to just practice that technique on. But for now, let's just search up passive slow and let's just play the first thing that comes up. Or probably the first thing, as long as it's not something. Yeah, let's just play the first one that shows up for now. The top one, yeah. Yeah, perfect. Just play this scenario and see. So what I want you to do is slow down a lot
Okay.
and just focus on landing right where the bot's going to be when your crosshair lands. See how even at your current speed you're landing behind the bots and all those things? Just focus on flicking to where the bot's headed. All right, so you notice how you have 74% accuracy and a lot of the time you'd land below the bot and then flick quickly up to it?
Yep.
With this scenario, what I want to work on is just your ability to read the passive bot, right? Because once you're able to read it, then you can execute techniques on it. But without being able to read it, you can't apply techniques to it. So replay it. but I want you to just really focus on landing on the bot every time and not missing. Like, don't worry about errors because we're not working on your ability to flick or anything like that. We're working on your ability to understand how the bot is moving. We're working on like your actual mental comprehension. So just focus on landing on the bot. But
Okay.
you're going back. Keep going with what we were doing before. All right, because this is purely a reading exercise, what we should be focusing on is again, not flicking back and forth. Like around the 10, 15-second mark, I could tell you started feeling like, yeah, I got this, and you just started flicking really fast, and then you started missing a lot and making a lot of micro adjustments. And then when you slowed, and even when you were slow, there was still a solid 10% of the time where you were landing off target. So really just try to focus on the reading. Let's just do it one more time.
Okay.
All right, come on, just focus on knowing where the bot is and landing on it. Oh, you got it for the most part there. So now what we're going to work on is something a little different. You can pick up your flick speed a bit. Obviously nothing insane like you're trying to react to a guy who just peeked you or anything. But like pick up the flick speed to like a normal, reasonable, like dynamic, small static amount, right?
Mhm.
So what I want you to do from there, what I want you to do from there is make the micro adjustments similar to the motions in this scenario before, where you just place your target either right on the bot or right in front of it so that you can click it almost immediately. Restart it and go.
Okay.
You're going back to how you played before this. Don't do that. Nice. So what'll happen a lot of time is your flick will still fall short, and you'll end up playing how you played before, like when you hadn't even seen the Matty guide or whatever, right?
Yep.
Or no, sorry, I mean right after you saw the Matty guide and you were trying to implement it while still under flicking a lot of the time. So what we gotta make sure is that you're not severely under flicking the bots because then you end up tracking them again for extended periods of
Yep.
time. So that's priority number one. Hit done for now. We're gonna go to a scenario I just made. Hit reload on the little reload bar right there because we get to refresh the scenario list so that it updates with scenarios that were newly uploaded. I hope it'll be out by. Okay, cool. Search up VT Pasu Rasp. And then the number Rasp, like yeah, and then the number 60 after that space. 60. Cool. It came out. That one. So try to apply the same technique here. I think it might be a bit faster than the other one, and obviously they'll be the same size as what you're working on, and it won't be a 60-second run. So yeah, just try to apply the technique here. Yep, they're a decent bit fast, actually. The second technique where you'd flick a bit faster and then micro adjust yourself right in front of it. Don't, nope, nope, nope. You got yourself back into the habit of here, watch this for a second, watch this for a second.
Mhm.
Watch my stream. I want you to see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this one works. So this is you, this is you. You flick past it, or let's find a bot that's moving the way I want it to move. You flick past it, hook, you flick past the bot that's moving. Let's say a bot's moving this way, right? So you'll be here, you'll flick past it, and then you'll hook shot into it. Like you'll flick past the bot, you're moving towards the bot's moving towards you, so you pass it and then you have to hook around and track it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like bot's moving towards you, you're moving. I'm just waiting for bot to move towards me because whenever you want something to happen with a dynamic bot to demonstrate, it doesn't do that thing. But that's happening a lot with these, and that's causing you to track a lot because you're not moving fast enough. So let's just try and not do that. That's it. Like if the bot's moving towards you, you should have no problem just landing on it and killing it without passing it. That's wasting a ton of time. After one miss, you're no longer allowed to go for the same bot. Hold on a second, I want to show you something. I'm just setting up a map so that it looks the way I want it to look. Um, that's good. All right, here, watch this. Screens go. So I'm on this bot, right?
Yep.
And let's say I'm about to kill it. I want you to rank the other 5 bots in order of which one's most to least viable for the bot for the next bot.
Okay. Okay. So essentially from there to the next one, right?
So which bot? Hold on a second. Let's take a screenshot of this, and then
Mm-hmm.
let's go to photo. P. Close this, Control V, allow, crop, enter, Control minus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In what order would you go? In what order is each bot the most viable?
I'd go with 2 first.
2 first.
Yeah.
Why
And
is
then
that?
1. Just because it's to the left.
Okay,
And
so
that
your
way.
ID, so you're okay. That makes sense. So that you're already
Mhm.
moving in the direction of the other bots when you finish 1. That makes sense. All
Yeah.
right. So two's the most viable, then 1's the next most viable. So what's next after that?
After that, I would go with 3.
3. Why 3?
Yeah. It's a lot closer, and it's like from at least the way I see it, it's a lot cleaner path directly from 1 to 3. Then let's say
Oh wait, wait,
from
wait.
1
Hold up, hold
to
up, hold up. What we're saying is you start at this spot, right? We're ranking the bots in order. So this would be the most viable. This would be
Oh,
the second most viable. We're ranking like each, not in the order you'd hit them, though
yeah,
that would
yeah,
still
yeah.
be wrong. But we're ranking them just most viable from this bot. So once 2 is gone, once you pick 2, we assume it's 1 while 5 targets. Once you pick 1, we assume it's 1 while 4 targets, and so on like that. So after 1, why would you go for 3?
Hmm. This is for me, at
From
least I find it easier to aim upwards. Like, let's see. I always
okay,
have trouble
you're
going
gonna
like this.
have to aim up. You're gonna get to aim upwards, and you're gonna have to aim downwards eventually for all these bots, right?
Hmm.
But what we
Yeah,
got to keep in mind is clusters, right? You see how 1, 2, 3. That's a very easy movement to make because whether you do it that way or that way, because they're all so close to each other. But if you go straight to 3, or sorry, if you ignore, let's say these bots aren't here, and you go to 3
mhm,
versus 5 or even 4, 4 and 5 are both next to each other, so they're in a cluster. So you get to farm multiple bots very quickly
yeah,
off of one flick, versus with 3, you're guaranteeing that your next kill will have to be a big flick, right?
yeah,
So 4, 5, 4, and a lot of people say, "Oh, but then 3 will still be alone." Well, will it? You just killed this bot, and this bot. That's 4 bots that could, or 3 bots that could spawn right next to 3. So all of a sudden,
yeah,
3 could be in a cluster, or since we're assuming 1 of all 4 targets, there could be a new cluster created somewhere else, right? So if you ignore a cluster for an extended period of time, unless you're in another cluster already, right? You don't want to bounce out of the cluster you're in, obviously. That would be
yeah.
very bad. So a lot of people fail to realize that this is the same thing in Pasu, right? Let's say all these bots have some movement. So 3 might be over here all of a sudden. 1 goes here, 2 goes here, this goes here, these go here, these go here. But at the pace you're aiming, the bots
Mhm.
are going to stay relatively clustered. Maybe if it's a cluster like 4, by the time you finish it, one of the bots will be halfway across the map and it would have only been a cluster of 3. But clusters still exist in Dynamic, and you should be working to farm them, whether it's B180, whether it's
Like,
Pasu,
from
whether it's whatever, Tam speed, or I guess not Tam speed because that's 2 targets. But clusters exist in multi target Dynamic, and you should be working to farm them. What I noticed was you had a similar situation where you were on this bot, right? There was a bot right here like this, a bot right here like this. This was the top of the map, and you chose to go to a bot over here for some reason because you missed this one.
yeah,
And that happens a lot, and that's something people who aren't as experienced with pass, who aren't as experienced with dynamic technique, will get wrong. They won't go for clusters. So the ability to farm clusters is definitely a very important one. That it sounds like it's just a technical thing, but being able to think on your feet like that in static, it's pretty much just a be aware of it, and then you can do it instantly type thing. But in dynamic, it's a bit more of a thinking on your feet because the cluster is changing. Bots are moving away from each other. 2 bots moving towards each other might be a better cluster than 2 closer bots moving away from each other if your crosshair's like right in the middle, right? depending on the pace they're moving and all those different things. So it's just a lot of reading goes into finding clusters once there's a speed and a velocity. So I don't expect you to be perfect at it tomorrow, but
Mhm.
what I do expect is that if there's a dot right here, a dot right here, and a dot right here, you just miss this dot and you decide you're going to move on to the next target as you should. Instead of going to this ball or this ball, don't go to you go to this ball. I expect you to be able to not do that, if that makes sense. Control.
I get what you're saying.
So yeah, just try and actually handle the clusters
Mhm.
somewhat properly. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up all over the map. Uh, Replay this.
Okay.
Focus on that. And also, whenever you get confused, you shake your mouse in the middle of the screen. That just wastes a ton of time. I guess if you want to do that, you can, but don't do it on a high score on a run you're trying to high score, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like a waste of your time. Just if you watch, yeah, like that, don't do that on a high score run or any run you care about. Because if you watch a good dynamic player, whether they hit or they miss, they just moved on to the next target. They assume they hit it. Good clicking players in general, they assume they hit their shot, and if they don't, they're still on their way to the next one to not break pace. Like, they don't do that random circle shake thing because they missed and all of a sudden they're panicking and they're like resetting their brain. They don't do that. Their brain doesn't need to be reset, it just keeps moving the whole time. I actually want you to
I just
stop.
read
You
it.
know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing like
I want
really
you to
clearly
stop
now.
doing that altogether because I think it's
Okay.
preventing you from understanding the fluidity of dynamic clicking, right? It
Mhm.
should be a one movement across the board, just moving your mouse around steadily, smoothly. If that makes sense, right? You don't want to be shaking it violently in between targets because you missed a couple times. You want a miss to just
Yep.
be treated the same as a hit in terms of the fact that you're on your way to the next target without even thinking about it. So try it one
Yep.
more time and try not to do that. So, uh, not that. This. Let's go to the. So this is you in the scenario, right?
Mhm.
So you approach the target, you hit it, you pause to make sure you hit it, you realize you hit it, you move on. You go to this one, you miss it, you pause, you realize you missed it, you move on. You go to this one, you hit it, you pause, you realize you hit it, you move on. Hit, pause, miss, pause, hit, pause, miss, pause, miss, pause, hit, pause, hit, pause, hit, pause. So if your technique is gonna be the MBM style, like 3 bots, 3 clicks per target, right? Like you're not really trying to have like the main proper technique, you're more just spam clicking and all those things, then okay. That's fine. That pause is gonna be there because you gotta react to if you hit the target or not. But your technique, we're working on the more Matty Overwatch proper, go intercept the ball, all those things. And the way you're playing right now, you don't need that pause. You shouldn't be waiting to see if you got the target just to move on to the next one, right? That's just a waste of time. Just move on to the next one anyway. Click, move on. Don't bother waiting to see if you got it. You'll
Okay.
know from the audio cue. And you'll know from seeing it you don't have to pause your crosshair because you're not going to continue aiming at a target you missed at. We've already gone over that, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's see it. All right, you're going unnecessarily fast now. You
Yeah.
and you don't need to ever do the shaking thing where you stop and just do circles with your crosshair to kind of reset yourself because again that ruins the fluidity and it just blocks you from being able to understand like the connection between hits and misses, if that makes sense. You don't want to go back to targets ever. All right, the pause was gone, but in removing it, what happened was you increased your pace an unnecessary amount, which caused you to miss a lot spam click like what's that 70% accuracy, not even. Um
Yeah. So,
so let's try that again without doing that.
okay, let's try to
Replay.
remove the pause while also trying to like slow down my pace.
Um you want to move it as fast as you can without losing track of being able to read the targets, intercept them, and hit them most of the time, if that makes sense. You don't want to be missing a lot, but you don't want to be going slower than you need to, if that makes sense. And you can intercept with a micro adjustment, not with the initial flick, as long as your initial flicks aren't like going absolutely terrible, like like the thing where you go past it while it's moving towards you. Like the initial flick should still take reading the target into account, but they can be a bit faster. Cool. Nice. Um, hit done for a second.
Mm.
Um, so what I'm gonna give you is a list of learning objectives. Dot, dot, dot. Number one. Um, read the bots un and understand how to move to where they will be, not where they are slash were. Two, intercept the bots, understand how to land your crosshair precisely where you read them to be. Three, ignore misses, period. Missing is the same as hitting in the sense that you're already on the way to the next target by the time you know which one happened. 4. aim at a pace where you are confident that you hit your shots the vast majority of the time. 5, increase that pace as much as you can without sacrificing any previous point. So now the point of these learning objectives, I guess you could call them, is
Mhm.
that they're actually an ordered list. It's not just the 5 things I want you to work on, but it's the 5 things I want you to work on in order. You can't intercept the bots if you can't read them. Ignoring misses could honestly go and in 1, 2, or 3 because it's relatively easy to figure out, but it's less important than the other two, so I put it in 3. And then 4,
Yeah.
aim at a pace where you are confident you will hit your shots the vast majority of the time. That won't happen if you're not ignoring misses and treating them like clicks, because in order to be unconfident, you have to be moving on faster. That's basically like canceling out the issue that could come from ignoring misses, where you're just missing 70% of your shots and just boom, 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 but they're all misses. And then
Yeah.
number 5 is increasing the pace. Basically, the issue that number 4 cancels out, but you're trying to do it in a way that you're not overriding any previous point. Like you're not aiming so fast that you can no longer read the bot or and properly intercept them and end up doing those U tracks. Remember how you do like a flick past it, U turn, and then track it? You're not doing
Yeah.
that at number 5 pace. Number 5 isn't that fast. Number 5 isn't so fast that you're ignoring your misses. It's just a confident pace, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like the Bard pill in a sense?
Not at all. No.
No.
You're going to be still missing
Um,
probably
yeah.
10 to 20% of your shots on a good run. The Bard pill is you're never going to be resetting. Um,
Yeah.
you're gonna, what is it? I guess you will have faster flicks than micro adjustments, but the micro adjustments won't be really that slow. It's doesn't share that much with the Bard pill at all. It's just dynamic techniques. Um,
Mm.
so let's see. Let's go to the main scenario, the main version of this, and see. That's a lot to see. VT, Passu, Rasp. Oh, you don't have it downloaded? Just go online scenarios, or yeah, you could play it. Okay.
Yeah, I was just maybe getting it.
Try to apply these techniques. I don't think you'll high score because there's a lot to focus on, but
Yeah.
you can give it a shot.
Yeah.
You're doing the thing again.
Yeah. No.
Pause this.
Mm.
Go to settings. Go to UI. Uncheck high score bar. You're focusing more on whether or not you get the high score than on actually applying the techniques. The number one thing is you're applying the techniques of interception and reading and ignoring your misses and all those things. The number 2 thing is pushing speed. The number 3 thing is getting an 850 or whatever you need.
Yeah.
Play it. Number 1 focuses on technique, remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so for one thing, I forgot number 6. Um, use clusters of bots to your advantage. That's a big one. And another thing is you broke down around number 4. You had what, 62% accuracy? Your high score is only 63% because you were probably spam clicking and trailing a lot. But
Mm,
like MBM techniquing. But the point is, we're working on a different kind of technique for you right now. It's a
Yeah.
little bit more efficient for this scenario. You don't want to be getting 63 accuracy, right? You want to be getting a much higher accuracy. So slow down a bit and get higher accuracy with it. With still intercepting, not tracking, right?
Yep.
Cool. So let's replay that one more time and see if you can slow down your interceptions a bit. Or here, actually watch me for a second. What I'm gonna do,
Mm,
I'm gonna load up this scenario. I think it's called this one. I don't know. I've played this one forever. What you want? What I'm gonna do? Watch this. Hold on a second. Let me try something. See how the pace I'm aiming at is super, super slow, but
Yeah.
I still wasn't tracking the targets at all.
Hmm.
Like I could have literally replaced my mouse with a turtle and just had it walk around, and it would have been the same speed, right?
Yeah.
But I still wasn't tracking the bots. I was still intercepting them.
Yeah.
My point is that you don't need. I think you're trying to rush a bit so that the bot doesn't move too much by the time you get there, right?
Yeah.
That that's not target reading, right? Target reading is understanding where the bot is, how it's moving, and moving in, and then interception is moving into its motion with that understanding. Increasing speed and doing what you're doing, trying to hit it, is a good way to get low accuracy, and
Yeah.
therefore, when you're ignoring misses and just moving on to the next target, as you would if you were aiming a bit more properly, it's a good way to. Words are coming to my mouth. Hold on a second. It's a good way to get a low score, right? So what you
Yeah.
got to do, you got to be able to read and intercept as your top 2 priorities, and then just kind of go down the list and get everything done in that order. Do you have any questions for me off the top of your head?
Mm. Would it be so once I went back to this one, to VT plus the regular one,
Yep,
I felt like it was a little bit too fast for me while trying to read it and
that's fine.
understand it as well.
That's fine.
So
Training on slower versions for a little bit can definitely help. Here, show me the low gravity playlist
this one,
for dynamic, the top one. Top one. You got to scroll up.
yeah, oh yeah, this is
Click on it.
dynamic.
Click on it. Scroll through the scenarios. Intermediate speed focus, passive small, passive reactive, passive reload, passive intermediate. Here, copy that share code and send it to me.
Okay.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna download that playlist. Play playlist. Um, A. I have way too many playlists. I have 447 online playlists
Jesus.
and 337 local. So let's see. The first passive was passive voltaic small 3-shot R. All right. this we're gonna replace with Pasu slow, small, slow. Pasu reload small, slow 60%. Edit it. Nope, not that one. This one. So, hold on a second. I'll share my screen for you.
Okay, I can see it.
Um, Alright, the second Pasu related is Speed Focus Intermediate LG56. Mm, what is that's grid shot. Let's just replace that with a regular Pasu slow. Pasu slow. 115 targets, Pasu slow reload. 60. Pasu reload slow 60 seconds. Let's add it to this one. Because I mean this is literally just grid shot. Like, yes, you technically can work on your technique here, but it's a waste of your time. Let's see. Pasu, 1 while 5 targets, small. Yeah, you're not going to get any technique out of this. We'll just go to this one to 6 because that'll be the same thing. Pasu reactive. You play these in random order, right?
No, I played them in the exact order.
Really?
And yeah,
That sounds incredibly boring.
it is.
Play them in
I do
random
it
order.
every. Right.
Alright, so what this spot does is basically, instead of changing directions, it does these little strafes to juke you out, right? And that is just making reading, which you're already very bad at, even harder.
Yeah.
So we're just going to replace it with 3 115 target passes. Pasu small reload. Just do 3 of these. Pasu small reload. Let's see. This is small, relatively fast. Hmm. Alright, I'm just gonna remove this and have 6 of these instead because the size plus the speed I don't think you'll be able to handle. But if we combine the two together, then
Yeah.
you might be able to get it. Pasu rasp intermediate. Pasu rasp intermediate 60. What? Oh, because I haven't refreshed my online scenario list yet. Hold on a second. Okay, perfect. We're gonna add that to this playlist. Passive rasp intermediate slow. I'm gonna do it 3 and 2 because I still want you to get the bot you're training for.
Yeah.
Leap horn, pop horn, bounce 180, bounce shot, bounce. Okay, cool. So, let's edit the name. Edit the name. WP Pasu Technique Remix. Oh, hey, I made the description of the playlist. Um, edited. Oh, it's at max characters. LG's playlist, but I edited it so that you could, so that it wouldn't make anyone who plays it into MBM for Pasu if they want to work on pure technique. Save. Can I not upload this because the text blocks the upload button? I can't edit it either because that is stupid. I guess I'm gonna have to just say dynamic LG56. Hold on a second. Save. Upload. Alright, so my recommendation is replace your Mondays with that for, I don't know, the next few weeks where you're only doing. Replace your Mondays with that for the next few weeks, and then eventually you can go back to the other one if you want once you're able to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have no other questions, I think we're good to end the session.
Well, that's everything. Thank you.
Of course. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
When's my next session? Kevin 25. So I'm still streaming. Forgot to end my stream. Ending the stream. Ending the stream. Goodbye, chat. I'll be back in like 50 minutes with another coaching.